Getting out of poverty is one of the deepest transformations a person can experience. It is not only about having more money in your pocket, but about completely changing the way you live, think, and envision the future. Poverty does not only limit material resources, it also limits opportunities, decisions, and often even dreams. That is why understanding why it is important to escape it helps create awareness about the impact it has on individual, family, and social life. First of all, getting out of poverty means regaining the freedom to choose. When a person lives in poverty, many of their decisions are not based on what they want to do, but on what they can afford to do. For example, someone may have the talent to study, start a business, or learn a skill, but if they do not have enough resources, they will probably have to accept any job available simply to survive. This creates a kind of cycle where time and energy are devoted only to covering basic needs, leaving little room for personal growth. When a person manages to escape poverty, something very powerful happens: they begin to have room to decide. They can choose where to live, what to study, what kind of work to pursue, or how to invest their time. This ability to choose is one of the greatest benefits of improving one's financial situation, because it returns control of life back to the individual. Another important benefit is the reduction of constant stress. Poverty generates enormous mental pressure. Thinking every day about how to pay the rent, buy food, cover basic services, or handle emergencies creates a very high level of anxiety. Many people who have lived in poverty describe that stage as a daily struggle for survival. It is not only an economic problem, it is also an emotional and psychological one. When that situation is overcome, the mind is freed from a large part of that burden. Having financial stability allows people to plan, save, and think about the future with greater peace of mind. This mental calm is something that is often underestimated, but it has a huge impact on health, personal relationships, and overall quality of life. Getting out of poverty also significantly improves health. People with greater resources usually have better access to quality food, medical care, exercise, and rest. In contrast, poverty often forces people to consume cheap and less nutritious food, live in more stressful environments, or struggle to access medical treatment. When the economic situation improves, it becomes easier to take care of both body and mind. Proper nutrition, regular medical checkups, and a more balanced lifestyle increase the chances of living longer and better. In other words, escaping poverty can also mean gaining more years of life and well-being. Another fundamental aspect is education. Poverty limits access to quality education. Although many people with limited resources manage to study and move forward, the path is usually much more difficult. Lack of money for books, transportation, technology, or even time to study are common obstacles. When a person manages to improve their financial situation, they can invest more in education, both for themselves and for their children. Education opens doors, expands the mind, and provides access to better job opportunities. That is why escaping poverty does not only transform one generation, it can also change the destiny of the next ones. In addition, escaping poverty allows people to develop their personal potential. Many individuals have talents, ideas, or skills that never fully develop because they are trapped in the daily struggle to survive. Creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship often require time, energy, and certain minimum resources. When someone achieves financial stability, they can begin exploring new possibilities, starting a business, learning new skills, traveling, discovering other cultures, or dedicating themselves to projects they truly feel passionate about. This not only benefits the individual but can also create value for others and for society. A very important benefit of escaping poverty is the possibility of helping others. When someone barely has enough to survive, it is very difficult to support family members financially or contribute to social causes. But when a person improves their situation, they can become a source of support for their family, their community, or even for people facing difficulties similar to those they once experienced. Many success stories show that people who have escaped poverty often feel a strong motivation to help others achieve the same. This creates a multiplier effect, where the progress of one person can inspire and support the progress of many more. There is also an important change in the way people think. Poverty often forces people to adopt a survival mindset focused on the short term. When the priority is making it to the end of the month, it becomes difficult to think about long-term goals or projects that may take years to develop. By escaping poverty, the mindset can shift toward building the future. People begin thinking about investments, projects, education, and long-term growth. This way of thinking is essential for building stability and wealth over time. Another benefit is the impact on self-esteem. Poverty can make many people feel that they have little value or that their possibilities are limited. Society sometimes reinforces this perception by associating economic success with personal worth. When a person manages to overcome that situation, they often regain confidence in themselves. They discover that they are capable of changing their reality, overcoming obstacles, and building a different life. This confidence can positively influence every area of life. Escaping poverty also changes the social environment. Opportunities to meet people, build networks, and access new environments increase considerably when financial circumstances improve. These connections can open new doors and generate opportunities that once seemed impossible. In addition, economic progress allows people to build stability for the future. Saving, investing, and planning make it possible to face unexpected situations without them becoming serious crises. A medical expense, a home repair, or the loss of a job can be devastating for someone living in poverty, but much more manageable for someone who has some financial support. Finally, escaping poverty has a profound impact on human dignity. Being able to cover basic needs, live safely, have access to opportunities, and choose the direction of one's own life are fundamental aspects of a dignified life. Poverty, in many cases, deprives people of these basic conditions. For all these reasons, escaping poverty is not simply a financial goal. It is a process of personal and social transformation that improves freedom, health, education, opportunities, and quality of life. It also allows people to build a more stable future and open paths for the generations that come after. Ultimately, overcoming poverty means moving from survival to building a life with purpose, possibilities, and hope. It is a change that not only benefits the person who achieves it, but can also positively influence many other people and contribute to the development of society as a whole.